Hello, everyone, and welcome into Millington. We're here on the campus of Millington Central High School. Andy Manus and Chad Gatlin here with you on this Friday evening. Thank you for joining us on Tubetown. Tonight, it's the M&M Bowl. The Munford Cougars have made the short trip down the road. They are trying to avoid a 2-game losing streak to start the season here in 2019. Standing in their way, the Millington Central Trojans. They, Chad, are trying to start their season off on the right foot with a 2-0 winning streak.
That's right. Millington last week taking care of business against Liberty Tech, winning 20-0. Defense holding them scoreless. The key player to watch from Millington here is 4-year starter, number 10 quarterback Tommy Clifton Jr. He has grown with this program as the years have gone on and become a better quarterback each and every year that we've watched him play. Excited to see him here in his senior and final year at Millington. And Munford last week, nothing to say but a terrible loss to Covington. Completely dominated by Covington in the first half, played with a running clock in the second half. It was 35-0, but that doesn't even really tell the story. They were just dominated in every phase of the game, and one big thing that Munford is going to have to fix is the offensive line. They were not able to hold Covington out of the backfield. Covington had 2 to 3 people in the backfield seemingly on every single play last week. They're going to look to tighten that up tonight as they get their new quarterback warmed up to gain speed. And also somebody to watch with them, number 22, Travion Hawkins, the junior receiver. If the quarterback can hit him in stride, he's got a lot of speed and can get the home run.
Yeah, we've seen him show off that speed here on Tubetown before. Obviously did not get to see very much of it last week. As you mentioned, it kind of seemed like Covington was in the backfield more than Munford was in their own backfield. So hopefully they can use this the week of preparation to kind of remedy some of those things. Hopefully they've used this week of preparation, I should say, and they have kind of righted the ship here tonight as we get set for first quarter kickoff. The Cougars will be kicking away here to the Trojans to start tonight's football game. A beautiful night for football here in Millington. Sun is setting here on the field, and we're about ready to go here. It's not too humid tonight, Chad. It's a very it's going to be a good night for football.
Out here. Yeah, it's a great night for football. Feels like a fall night, even though we're not quite to fall yet. So
it does. Yeah, not quite bonfire burning time, but we're getting there.
Something to note in this series, the M&M Bowl, every year that we've carried it here on Ritter Tubetown, Munford has won the game. So that's something Millington is going to want to correct.
Yeah, and you go back to last year's game, a 55-30 game. Munford won that one. So we'll see if they can come away with a win here tonight. Kickoff taken across the 25. Now bounce to the outside 30. And the return man takes it down to the 35-yard line, and that is Adrian Dowell on the return there. And Millington coming out with some pretty good field position to start tonight's football game, Chad.
Yeah, it was a great return. It was just well blocked. He really didn't run into any resistance until he got near midfield. So we'll see Millington start with good field position and test this Munford Cougar defense early.
There's a flag on the field, though, and it is going to be, I believe, a block in the back there. So they're going to back up that excellent return just a few yards. And we will see the aforementioned Tommy Clifton come out here. Chad, you and I were talking. That's a kid that we've got to see year in and year out here at Millington. And it's been fun watching him. And, obviously get to see him for the last time now.
And, I mean, the first game we saw him was an M&M Bowl. And he wasn't very impressive. And by the end of his freshman year, he became one of the better quarterbacks in this division.
It's going to be Clifton on the keepers across the 25, out to the 30, showing his speed out of the backfield. But a loose football, it appears. Munford on the recovery. Far sideline referee is signaling that it's Cougar football, and that is not the way the Trojans wanted to start off tonight's football game. They had it for 11 seconds.
No, and you see, and I think what this is with Clifton is this is a rivalry game and just trying to get more out of a play than is available. You see a great strip, though, by Michael Dowell trying to strip the ball as he's going down. And Clifton, I mean, he trucked Travion Hawkins. And then when he made contact, though, with Michael Dowell, smartly stripped the ball. And now we see Munford on offense.
So Jackson O'Neal under center for the Cougars. Hands it off to
White.
Avik White there. Sophomore tailback. Trying to figure out if the U was silent or not.
I don't know. That I was looking at it and I said, not even going to try. Haven't had a chance to meet any of the players this year, so I don't know how to pronounce his first name, so I hope we get it right.
Well, it was a pickup of about 4 on first down. This time they run it right back up the middle with White. And a swarm of Trojans, a host of Trojans, I should say, stops that run at the line of scrimmage.
And this is the problem Munford had against Covington, is getting stuffed in the middle, not able to stop the rush.
White still in the backfield, the lone tailback, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end who goes in motion. He'll head to the backfield, and it looks like they might have just been trying to draw him off sides there as Payne flashes to the backfield. Now he's back at the line. They flip it and go to the other side. They fake the handoff to White. It'll be O'Neal on the keeper, and he is down near the first down marker, but it'll be a 4th and short coming up for the Cougars.
Going to come up short there, and I don't know if that was a read or a planned keeper, but if it was a read, he should have given the ball.
Yeah, look at White. White was just all the way through the linebacking core of the Trojans, headed into the secondary. So a 4th and about 2 coming up now. Same play that time. O'Neal again on the keeper, lost his helmet, but it looks like someone lost a helmet, but it looks like O'Neal's able to stretch forward and pick up the first down.
Just enough, and I mean, it's the play call you got to make there. If you're Nick Markle, you have to go for it when you're that close and you've got an opportunity that was given to you by your defense. You want to pay them off with a touchdown. You don't want to end the drive on a kick. 3 points is better than no points, but 7 points is the best bet.
So now a 1st and 10 from the Millington 16-yard line. Again, 2 wide receivers. Payne flashes to the backfield. That is a handoff right up the gut. Heard somebody yell football. Trojans come out of the pile with it. We'll see what the referee signals. It's Millington football. And I think that might have been Travion Hawkins on the carry there who coughs it up for the Cougars. And it was. And then right there, it comes flying out. Great job by our camera crew catching that one. And falling right on top of that for the Trojans was Hunter Lucas.
Hawkins, I think, undisputed as the star player on this Munford team, not having a great start. He got trucked by the quarterback on defense and then coughed up the ball on offense. Going to have to try to get it back together. He's a real leader on this team and somebody they look to.
So now Millington comes out on their own 14-yard line, looking to throw. Clifton, high pass, bobbled but still reeled in. Now he drops it. Cougars fall on top of it. Are you kidding me? They call that a completion? They did. They rule it Munford football.
If you had replay, that would come back. That was not a completion. He never had control of the ball, I don't believe. We're going to see it in slow-mo right here. But you see him, he bobbles it off of his helmet. He's still bobbling it.
No, that's a football move, Chad. That is a football move there. Looked like he was trying to make a little second effort to get away from the cornerback there.
That'll teach me to distrust the referees.
Well, we've had 3 possessions and 3 fumbles so far.
All around the same area of the field.
Yep, Millington has run a total of 2 plays here to start the football game. Here's O'Neal on the option play. He's going to keep it himself. He'll fall forward for a couple of yards. Got a little bit of shoving going on out there near the first down marker between Lamarius Payne and it looked like Reggie Caldwell.
And if you're Munford right now, you've set up a pass. So you're going to want to look outside, I think, to a quick screen. Something like what Millington just ran, except for you're going to want your receiver to corral it. Watch down low. You got Tristan Thomas down low.
Here's White, who is smoked coming out of the backfield. Oh, goodness, that was a big boy hit laid on by T.J. Graves. The sophomore wrapping up the tailback for a loss. So now 3rd and 8 coming up.
They again put Tristan Thomas on the far side. Now they're going to throw to him.
Yep, Thomas in the end zone. Had a step on the defender, but it's thrown out of the back of the end zone.
Great defense there. Great defense. Adrian Dowell on the coverage. Had it all the way. It was a pretty nice throw by O'Neal. It was laid right where it needed to be. It was just great defense by Dowell.
Yeah, so now a 4th down coming up, and we will see Munford's kicking team take the field. Jesse Savage on to attempt the extra point, and I believe we may have a timeout. We do. Munford going to talk some things over on 4th and 8. We're going to step aside for a quick break along with them. 7:43 left to play here in the first quarter in the M&M Bowl 2019. Munford and Millington scoreless. Back with more here on Tubetown.
Our dog got hit by a car. My wife and children were very upset about losing Buddy. While I was burying the dog, I cut the cable line.
Being a dog owner myself, it's hard losing a pet. So it's very important for us to get their services restored.
There's a winter storm hitting right now. It was a Friday night. You showed up and the very next morning in some pretty terrible conditions and fixed us up.
That's what we try to do here at Ritter in a bad situation, try to make it better.
Andy Manish, Chad Gatlin back here with you. First quarter action. 4th and 8 coming up from the 13-yard line. Cougars attempting a long field goal. Long spiraling kick will head far to the right. No good.
And somebody got a hand on a line of scrimmage there. Good job by the front guys for Millington on special teams. That one will go down as a block.
So they will spot the ball on the 20-yard line. Millington will come back out and try to have a series that lasts more than a play here. Got the got some of those jitters out now. I don't want to say pregame jitters because kind of carried those over into the first quarter, but hopefully now we can get a little momentum going.
It ended in a fumble, but the pass we saw from Tommy Clifton was a good tight spiral with a strong arm, showing you what he can do. And if he gets it to a sure-handed guy, he's going to cause some damage.
Well, little collision in the backfield, and that's not what you want to see on 1st and 10. It'll now be 2nd and long coming up.
That was a blown play from the beginning. It was a high snap, and then somebody was allowed to get through the line. Clifton tried to hand it off at the last second to pull the draw, but it just wasn't there, and the high snap threw the timing off of the entire play. Reggie Caldwell lined up to the right for Clifton.
Yeah, and in the backfield, it's Jadarius McKnight standing to his left now after Clifton switches. Now a slant pattern. That's the throw out to Caldwell. Caldwell catches it. And did he just make I think he just signaled for a first down. I think he might have got that mixed up. No,
I think he saw the...
He got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So now 3rd and 10 coming up.
So he saw the original line of scrimmage marker and confused it with the first down marker, so he thought he had the first down.
4 wide receivers now on 3rd and long for Millington. McKnight in the backfield. Clifton takes the snap, looking to throw, flushed out to his right, throws it on the run.
Bad throw.
Hawkins intercepts it.
Yeah.
Travion Hawkins right there to basically field that punt of a throw from Clifton. Clifton throws it off his back foot and just pretty much kind of treated that one like a punt.
So if you look at it, it's a bad decision here all the way around. Threw it off his back foot, threw it short, threw it on a hop on a guy that was double covered, trying to hit Reggie Caldwell. But he had Adrian Dowell open on the other side of the field, but he never looked his way. He never made more than one read. Just not a good series from Clifton there. He'll get it back together, though.
So now 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. There's the pitch out to Payne. Payne got a couple of blockers ahead of him, and he will make it to the 45. Pickup of about 3, maybe 4 yards there on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and 6 coming up.
If you're the Cougars, that's what you're going to have to do to Millington, especially after they watched that tape from Covington and seen how much they can get up the middle. You're going to have to make them respect the outside by putting some of your quicker guys out there and trying to make some moves.
Well, and so far, it's only been a couple of plays here running the first quarter, but it looks like the offensive line's playing a little bit better together than they did last week. 2nd and 7 coming up. Man in motion, they hand off to White right up the middle. Picks up 3, maybe 4 yards. Actually, check that. That's O'Neal still with the football. I thought he handed it off. That's yet
I think everybody thought he handed it off.
I think that's the second time, though, that O'Neal has not made the right choice in that situation. Take a look. White had several yards gained. Meanwhile, O'Neal, and again, fooled all of us there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he only got about a yard shorter than White did, so maybe not the wrong decision after all. He just took a pretty hard hit at the end of that. So now 3rd and 6 coming up. Payne goes in motion, flashes to the backfield. We're going to see what the Cougars want to run here. 10 seconds left on the play clock.
Call from the sideline there after they saw the defense.
Payne goes in motion. There's the handoff to White. Nope, option play. And a flag comes out before that one gets started, so it'll be in the area of false start. Actually, it's an illegal shift, rather.
And so they're running the read option a lot here for the Cougars, but it looks like, at least for the most part, O'Neal is choosing to keep the ball. And honestly, I don't know if there's a pass option in some of these, but it does look like the receivers are running routes. O'Neal lined up now at quarterback, and they're putting number 10, Ben Mobley, out at receiver.
Well, he's looking to throw. His first look was covered, just tosses it downfield. And a flag in the backfield means that one's probably going to be in the area of holding, but it goes incomplete, so it's going to be one that Millington likely turns down. And it will.
Yeah. That was a good decision, though, by O'Neal. There was nothing there. And so it's just a good decision to get rid of the ball here. He had a man, if he'd have looked to his right up there, in Mobley, but it wasn't his first read, and he had guys all over him, so he just had to get rid of it.
Well, 4th and 11 coming up. One man back deep to return for Millington's Reggie Caldwell, standing on his own 15. There's the snap. It's bobbled. Still gets the punt away, does Ben Mobley. And kind of shank that one a little bit. It'll take a Cougar roll out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
And so now we've seen one drive end in a missed field goal, blocked field goal. A Munford drive end in a punt, and every other drive in this game for either team has ended in a turnover.
A little bit of a sloppy first quarter here in the 2019 M&M Bowl. Both teams still kind of trying to fill each other out here. So the Trojans come back out on their own 31-yard line. 3 wide receivers and a tight end. That's McKnight in the backfield. Shimmies to the outside, and he'll pick up maybe a yard or 2. So a 2nd and 8 coming up as Jadarius McKnight picks up a couple.
Good defense by the guys up front for the Cougars. Carson Roberson, senior defensive lineman for the Cougars, helping out on the stop there, coming all the way over from the left end.
3 down linemen coming for the Cougars. They look like they got a nickel package out there. Don't really see any defensive linemen out there. Looks like they're coming with all linebackers here. There's the option play. Clifton up through the middle. Across the 45-yard line, a first down run for Tommy Clifton.
Shot of speed from Clifton there, and had it not been for Travion Hawkins, he was going to the house. You see, he gets missed here. Hawkins wraps up like a pro.
Enough yardage to pick up a 1st and 10 now from the 46-yard line of Millington. McKnight in the backfield, 3 wide receivers set, tight end lined up here on the near side. Now he goes in motion to the far side. There's the handoff to McKnight, swallowed up in the backfield.
Oh, that is big Derek Ross in there for the tackle for loss. Just bursting through the line here and finds his man also on the tackle, Jacoby McGill. Those two guys combining to blow that up, and now we got 2nd and long.
Yeah, 2nd and 13 to be exact after that busted play. Great defense by the Cougar front there. And again, the Cougars will line up with 3 down linemen. So they're really kind of guarding, it looks, against more of the run option than they are against the pass, or more concerned with that than they are putting pressure on Clifton in the pocket.
Clifton's going to keep.
Yep, there's the run across the 45-yard line. He bounces out to the far side hash marks. A spin move brings him down to the 47-yard line of Munford, and the Trojans into enemy territory for the first time tonight.
Clifton there just makes the decision. As soon as he gets the ball, he found the hole he wanted and ran. No hesitation. And that's why he was able to gain so many yards.
Yeah, design, draw play, no fake on the option that time. Just Clifton all the way. It's the 2nd first down. Well, I thought it was a first down, but not quite enough to move the chains. Thought they had moved them on down. It's actually 3rd and 2 coming up. Now let's see what they run. Clifton again with an empty backfield. Tight end ahead of him. Puts a man in motion on the sweep, but it's going to be Clifton keeping it himself. A flag is out at the 50-yard line. Clifton swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. They're actually going to spot him with a loss of 2. This one's probably going to be in the area of holding, so could have we'll see. This is going to be interesting to see if they accept this or not. Do you take the 4th and short, or do you back them up 10 yards from the spot of the foul, replay 3rd down?
I thought I may have seen a face mask there as well, so we're going to wait and see if this is on the defense. It's actually an illegal procedure call.
So they'll back it up. Yeah, they'll back it up 5 yards now from the spot, or from the line of scrimmage rather. So it'll be 3rd and 7. Oh, they're going to decline it. It'll be 4th down coming up. Interesting.
It is interesting because this is not out of the range that Millington can convert with a quarterback keeper.
I think I just saw Clifton point down on the ground, so maybe they're going to try to run it here. We'll see how they line up here. There's the empty backfield for Clifton, so you may be right.
I would watch a slant route from Cortland Barnes here. We know Clifton has the arm. He's single covered on the outside at the top of your screen.
Yep, 2 wide receivers lined up down here at the bottom. One goes in motion and another false start. Nope, timeout. I thought I saw the wide receiver take a break before the ball was snapped. Adrian Dow lined up in the slot, but instead it's Millington calling a timeout. The first of the first half for the Trojans. 4th and 4 from the 48-yard line with 45 seconds left to play in the first. We'll take a timeout with them, be back with more first quarter action from the M&M Bowl right here on Tubetown.
Tubetown is now available on the Amazon Fire TV and Fire Stick. Watch live events from Tubetown on your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick. Head over to the App Store and search for Tubetown. Once your app is installed, you can watch every live event from Tubetown. Miss our live coverage? Our past events are available on demand. Download the Tubetown app to your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick today. Tubetown, live, local, from Ritter Communications.
Andy Manus, Chad Gatlin, welcome you back to Millington for the 2019 M&M Bowl. The Millington Trojans, the Munford Cougars. Still scoreless here in the first quarter. 45 seconds remain before we get started with the second. It is 4th and 4 on the Cougar 48-yard line.
Coach Chris Michael saw something he didn't like and got the timeout in right before the snap. Now a flag before they've even lined up.
Looks like they got 12 men on the field. And, yeah, you read the referee's lips. He says 12. Illegal substitution on the Trojans. So backing it up 5 more yards. They got 12 men on the field. 1, 2,
Andy,
3, 4.
That can't happen out of a timeout.
Yep, 12 men on the field.
You can't come out of a timeout with 12 men on the field. How many players and coaches are standing right there when you line up? That's just a mistake that you can't afford to make. And now Millington is going to have to kick this ball away.
Yeah, you go from being able to go for it, potentially convert a 4th down, into having to kick it away to the Cougars. I think the Trojans had to have been feeling pretty good up to that point because they had some momentum going. Now they got 1 second left on the play clock. They get the snap off. Here's the kick by Romello Thomas.
Nice end-over-end punt.
It'll take a Trojan roll. Let it roll, but not into the end zone.
Oh, and what?
Woo!
Oh, wow. Great coverage.
What a stop. I thought the up man for the Trojans who touched it first went strolling into the end zone, but great job downing it on the 1.
Adrian Dowell on the punt coverage here just stops it right on the 1 yard line. First of all, an excellent punt by Romello, whose last name I just lost. Sorry about that, Romello.
That's Romello Thomas.
Romello
I lost it
Thomas.
too. I was going to give you a hard time, but I couldn't find it either. Oh, my goodness. All right, the Cougars coming up from the 1 yard line now with 35 seconds left to play in the quarter. O'Neal standing in his own end zone. White in the backfield. Payne goes in motion. White gets the handoff. He'll rumble forward to the 5 yard line, and that'll give him a little bit of breathing room now with 2nd and about 5 coming up.
Just a good hard run that you need right there from White just to get out of the end zone so the exchange doesn't take place in the end zone. You're not in danger of a safety on the snap.
And I think that may be the last play of the first quarter here. O'Neal standing over.
Does look like they're going to let it run down.
In between the hash marks, taking a look at the sideline, and 5 seconds remaining. We will head to the second quarter. So both teams going to swap ends of the field. We're going to come back on the other end of the field and start from the 5 yard line of the Munford Cougars. 2nd and 5 when we come back. Second quarter coming up for the 2019 M&M Bowl. Still scoreless between Munford and Millington on Tubetown.
My name is Kevin Moody. Both of my kids do online gaming. They let me know when the internet's down.
I'm Bobby Valentine. I work for Ritter Communication, and I'm a technician level 2.
My services were completely out. They sent Bobby out the next day. He told me that the box was shot.
It was shot.
With a gun. And he had it fixed within a couple hours once he got there. Bobby switched out my modem for me and had me upgraded to a faster speed. And both of my kids have been singing Bobby's praises since.
Back here at Mooney Boswell Field in Millington for the M&M Bowl, Munford versus Millington annual rivalry game right here on Ritter Tubetown. If you're watching us on your TV and you didn't know, you can also watch us on your Amazon Fire TV stick. All you got to do is download the Tubetown app. Andy Maness and Chad Gatlin getting ready to call the second quarter for this game.
A beautiful sunset here tonight in Millington, Chad. Purples and blues are all out. A beautiful night for football here. 2nd and 5 from their own 5 yard line. Cougar football, it's Hawkins on the pitch out across the 10 yard line. Now down the near sideline, tripped up as he went out of bounds. Gets knocked out at about the 16. A flag comes flying out very late at the end of that. It didn't have anything to do with Hawkins getting tripped up on the near sideline here. That flag was thrown by the back official near the hash marks. It looked like we had some little extracurricular activities going on behind the play there, Chad.
Yeah, and the referee is discussing it with the other officials right now. Our head referee, I think what they're looking for now is where to spot the ball, which would lead you to believe it's a hold.
It is going to be a hold. That'll back up that big Hawkins run. Nope. Well, that's a personal foul on face mask. They're going to say he got a hold of the face mask there, so.
So the penalty's offset. We'll do it all again like it never happened.
Nope, looks like they're going to assess the personal foul yardage here.
And it does look like they're giving the full 15 yards. I guess
they
penalty.
offset yardage, not anything else.
They take the difference of the yardage, I suppose, because that would be about 5 yards from the end of the run where they've spotted the ball. So
interesting.
Different rules in high school. Sometimes hard to make the adjustment for if you're used to watching college or NFL football.
Definitely. First down here for Munford, their second of the game.
False
and
start
another
there.
flag comes out. Well, these two teams having a little bit of a problem here. That'll be a delay of game.
They call the delay a game on that one. I saw the center moving, so I thought it was a false start. The center moved his head without moving the ball.
Back-to-back penalties here. 11:49 left to play in the second quarter. Only 11 seconds gone by here in the second. We've already had 3 penalty flags be thrown. 2 on the Cougars, 1 on the Trojans. Here we go now, 1st and 15. 3 wide receivers for the Cougars. It'll be O'Neal handing it up the gut to Hawkins. Hawkins stopped after about a pickup of 2.
And this is just a draw play up the middle. I think it was a read play, and O'Neal saw the end crashing in and handed it off. Look like they're setting up for another option here, and it is.
Yep, O'Neal nearly got into a little fight there with Hawkins on the exchange. It looked like he was kind of upset that Hawkins was the one that wound up with the football.
It was either that or he waited just a little too long to make the read and let it go. So now on 3rd and long, you got to think they're going to take a chance here. You got Mobley to his right. He's going to drop back to throw. He's got a man open, and he just drops the pass. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's Payne open out in the flats on that out route. And Payne cannot reel it in. Got to have that one, especially as open as he was, Chad.
And he had the field in front of him to get the first down.
Yep, so now a 4th and 11 coming up.
He's got a blocker. Yeah, that's just a tough break there for the Cougars. Going to have to kick it away and try to hold Millington on defense.
Yep, Ben Mobley back at his own 10-yard line to try to boot this one away deep to Reggie Caldwell, the junior return man. Caldwell we've seen out at wide receiver tonight so far for the Trojans. See if he can get a returnable kick here. Great kick. Calls for the fair catch, and it is spotted at the 46-yard line. So Trojans with really good field position here with 10:30 remaining in the second quarter.
Also a good read there by Caldwell to just signal the fair catch. He didn't have any blockers to run that back. So
super dangerous job there for the return man. He lives to fight another day.
And we saw last week, the one highlight of Munford's play last week was their special teams.
Without a doubt.
Their punt team especially was very good getting good long punts and covering the punt. Going to run an I formation, it looks like.
Yeah, got 2 tailbacks in the backfield. I think that's Demarion Dowdy in the backfield. Dowdy takes the handoff and tripped up, able to still pick up a yard, maybe 2 on first down. It'll be 2nd and long coming up for the Trojans as the clock continues to roll toward the 10-minute mark.
They just line up in that power I, put one receiver out to the right, but pack everybody else in and run it up the gut.
Well, it could be setting up a play action look there later on here in the game. Dowdy still the tailback in the backfield. 2 wide receivers up top for the Trojans. Cameron Haley in at tight end. We got 1 wide receiver down here at the bottom of your screen, and that's going to be an illegal motion probably on the Trojans there.
So that'll go back 5 yards for them. It's too bad because that was a play that looked like it was developing pretty well.
Yep, false start, so another penalty. Boy, we have had some penalties here in the first half.
I'm telling you, this has been a sloppy play that you expect to see in the first game of the year, and you expect it to see cleaned up a little more in the second game of the year. But
2, 3, 4, 5,
both
6,
teams
7, 8. Had 8.
making their own mistakes. The only thing you can say for either one is the opposition has made just as many mistakes, so it hasn't really mattered.
Yeah, I've got 9 penalties so far between the 2 teams. And yeah, it's about even. So now a 2nd and 14 coming up here. Man goes in motion. It's going to be Dowdy taking the handoff. Well, and he showed a little burst of speed there. Once he hit the gap, he gets out to midfield at about the 48-yard line. Nice little pickup of 5, maybe 6. But because of the penalty, it'll still be 3rd and long coming up.
Just a very well-run delayed handoff here. If you saw, Clifton made just enough of a motion to make the defensive line of Munford hesitate, and that's what opened it up for the gain.
Ooh, Dowdy is just a sophomore. He looks like a big tailback back there in the backfield standing next to Tommy Clifton.
Yeah.
Tommy Clifton listed at 200. Dowdy looks to be every bit the same size. Here's Clifton on the keeper, taken down by his shoestrings in the backfield.
Not fooled by that one. It is Derek Ross on the stop there for the Cougars. Saw that, was able to contain Clifton for a very short gain.
Yeah, that was a really good open field tackle because Clifton had a lot of room to run, if I could get my words out right here.
And you can easily over-pursue those when you're coming from the defensive line position or the linebacker position. It's easy to just over-pursue the runner there. He did a good job of caging him in.
There's the kick. Then we're going to have a flag, though. The punter got ran into. The return man takes it at the 25, across to the 30, out to about the 32, and this one is coming back.
And
I don't know if it's roughing the punter or running into the punter.
We'll have to see,
yeah,
because
there's a
roughing
difference.
will be an automatic first down.
Yeah, if it's running, it's only a 5-yard penalty.
And the referee straightening some things out with the Millington sideline before he makes the final call. And there it is. It is running into the kicker, which will only be a 5-yard penalty tacked on to the run there, and Munford will retain possession.
So I was going to say, instead of re-kicking it, they'll just add it onto the end of that run. Or, excuse me, I guess I should say subtract it to the end of that run. That would be the more technical phrase, I suppose.
Right. I think the thing the ref was trying to get straight is Millington was unclear on what he was asking them to choose. And once he got it clear to him that he wanted to know if they wanted to re-kick or not, then he was able to come out and make the call.
Everybody bunched in tight for the Cougars here. 1st and 10, handoff goes to White. White breaks free. He's got nothing but grass in front of him. He's going to take this one to the house unless the Trojans can catch up to him.
No,
they
sir.
Can't. Touchdown, Avik White. Touchdown, Munford Cougars.
75-yard run by White. And, of course, the announcer at the stadium has to immediately disagree with me and say 74 yards. But looked like 75 from where I was sitting, and you see White. He just pops out of the hole, and suddenly he's gone, man. Those afterburners on that guy are amazing.
He's listed at 5'10", 163. It looks a lot bigger than that out there.
And to be honest with you, that was a situation where I expected O'Neal to have kept the ball. Oh, failed 2-point conversion there.
Well, I think they were going for the field goal, and it wound up not working out for him.
I don't know, because we saw a similar after their first after their field goal attempt. Didn't we see a similar situation last week with a field goal attempt?
We sure did.
And so I think that may be a design play. But after 2 times of it not working, I think I could go away from it.
Probably a good idea there, Chad. All right, so we're going to be kicking off here momentarily. 6-0 now, the score. 7:44 left to play here in the first half. The 2019 M&M Bowl here on Tubetown. Thank you for joining us. Andy Manus, Chad Gatlin here with you. Trojans got 3 men back deep to return. It's the first kickoff we've had since the opening kickoff.
And kicking off from the 40, originally had the ball spotted at the 35 by accident.
There's Reggie Caldwell standing back at his own 5-yard line.
The big left foot of Caldwell's going to kick an onside kick.
And a great job by the Trojans with the fair catch there. Wow. And that is Cameron Haley hauling that one in. That's a heads-up play, and that's a senior move. Haley showing off his seniority there.
Yeah, and it was, it's just one of those heads-up moments where you have to know what's happening, and he saw it, called it, grabbed it, and got on the ground. Perfectly played. It was one of those onside kicks that they didn't try to bounce it, so it was a pretty easy catch for him.
Yeah, you just try to catch the other team off guard and hope they don't know what they're doing out there.
Where the up man usually messes up is when he tries to run.
Yep. There's the handoff out of the backfield. That's Dowdy. Dowdy swallowed up in the backfield.
Woo! Jacoby Miguel in through there with the big hit and wrapping him up.
Yeah, there he is, wrapping him up until his teammate could come along for the help. Kelton Mason getting in there on that one too. Loss of 2, so 2nd and 12 coming up now for the Trojans. Nearing the 7-minute mark left to play here in the first half. 4 wide receivers for Clifton. Dowdy in the backfield standing to his left. Cougars still coming with 3 down linemen. Look like they're bringing some pressure now from this outside edge on the near side. Clifton taking it himself, bouncing to the outside. Big run up the middle and out to the 49-yard line. Tommy Clifton moving the chains for the Trojans. Now 1st and 10 in Cougar territory.
Nicely done by Clifton and well blocked. Well blocked. You look out there on the outside and you've got Ben Cerniglia blocking for Tommy Clifton. He held off the blitz initially.
Well, Trojans wasting no time getting to the line and ready to run their next play. 1st and 10. Same look, 4 wide receivers. Again, the Cougars look like they're bringing pressure, this time from the other side. Dowdy on the handoff, breaks to the outside across the near sideline 45. He stretches out to about the 41. Picks up about 9 on that 1st down carry. Watch the second effort at the end of this, Chad. He breaks to the outside. Again, great blocking there, and then last little leap.
Yeah.
Kind of stretches out there.
And that's what they teach you is never stop moving your feet. Always keep your feet churning. It'll get you a couple extra yards just about every time.
We'll see if they go back to Dowdy here on 2nd and short. Same 4 wide receiver set. This time 2 linebackers in the middle here for the Cougars on defense. Not showing pressure this time, but they're bringing 4. There's a toss out to the near sideline. Caught at the 35-yard line. That's Adrian Dowell on the reception there. And another 1st down here for the Trojans.
Yeah, I think I mistakenly called him Ben Cerniglia earlier. That's 14 on the Cougars roster. 14 for the Trojans is, of course, Dowell.
Dowell still lined up here on the outside. You got Reggie Caldwell lined up in the inside slot position here on the near side. Dowdy still in the backfield. Sends the wide receiver in motion. Clifton keeping it himself. Shuffling his feet, making his way to the 30-yard line. Ball is out, but the referee has spotted it down at what appears to be the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. A pickup of about 5, maybe 6 yards on that first down carry for Tommy Clifton. I'll say 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 coming up. Under 5 minutes left to play now in the half. Now the Trojans showing some momentum.
Perfect time to shoot at the end zone right here.
Let's see if they do it.
Got Flowers and Barnes out on the left side. They're going to hand it off.
And they fake the sweep. They go to Dowdy. Dowdy navigates his way up the middle, across the 10-yard line, down near the 5. Dowdy with a heck of a run on second down.
And a touchdown saving tackle by Jesse Savage. And he was helped out over the top by Jared Dowell.
Watch the way he navigates the gaps here. Saw he was running out of room, running between the hash marks, and just bounced it out to the outside hashes.
And if Savage doesn't get a hold of him there to slow him down.
We've got a timeout called by the Millington Trojans. They'll have it 1st and goal from the Cougars' 6-yard line when we come back after that big run by Demarion Dowdy. 4:25 left to play in the first half. You're watching the 2019 M&M Bowl here on Tubetown. Andy Manus, Chad Gatlin, back here with you at Mooney Boswell Field in Millington. Millington Central High School trailing the Munford Cougars 6-0, but maybe not for long. 4:25 left to play in the second quarter. It is 1st and goal for the Trojans. They've got it at the Munford 6-yard line. Clifton breaks the huddle. In the backfield with him is Jadarius McKnight. Haven't seen him in the backfield for the last few possessions here
Single
for the
coverage
Trojans.
up top.
Up, whistles blow. Flag comes flying out, and looks like we're going to have an illegal shift once again called on the Trojans. They're having a hard time getting their timing down here in the first half.
And you're just going to, if you're not going to be able to get it down, you're just going to have to stop running motion plays. Because at some point, I mean, that's killing your momentum, and you've really got a lot of momentum right now. You definitely don't want these kind of ticky-tack penalties to stack up on you. So just start, I lost my train of thought.
2nd and goal coming up from the 11-yard line. Jet sweep. Nope, Clifton fakes both of them, pitches it. He's going to reverse field. Trying to go back the other way with it, and is stopped in the backfield. Now now it's 2nd down. It was 1st down. Now it's 2nd down. They replay the down after the penalty.
I heard the producer making fun of me in my earpiece, and it threw me off.
That happens when you got voices in your head. It's very hard to maintain your train of thought sometimes. 3:50 remaining and counting here in the first half. Millington trying to punch it in the end zone here before the halftime break. Coughed it up on the first play of the game. Trying to tie it up now. 7 seconds left on the play clock. 3 wide receivers for Clifton. McKnight still in the backfield. 2 seconds left. Get the snap off. Looking to throw. Downfield. Had a man streaking toward the end zone. It was good defense, but Reggie Caldwell had a step on the receiver. Take a look at the replay. Clifton had to lead him. He just led him a bit too far. What a window he had to throw that through. Great throw, just a bit too far.
He had a great opening there and could have caught it to the inside, but it was good tight coverage there from Jared Dowell.
And so now a 3rd and 15 coming up from the 15-yard line. McKnight will be in the backfield. Cortland Barnes lined up here on the near side. No, we got a timeout call. That one's got to be charged to the Munford Cougars. So now each team with 1 timeout remaining. How they scored that on the scoreboard. They gave that one to the. Okay, so the Cougars used their final timeout. Sorry, we got that straight now. 3:28 left to play here in the first half. We'll keep it right here. Score 6-0. And
Yeah, I was
again,
confused about that, too. It looked like the signal was for the Trojans, but
2 timeouts left for Millington. I guess the Cougars saw something on defense that they did not like, some sort of maybe a mismatch in personnel, and they just wanted to talk things over because you come up with a third down stop here, your defense is feeling pretty good about themselves considering that big 75-yard run they just gave up a minute ago. Plus, after getting shellacked last weekend, 35-0 against Covington, you know the defense is playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder here tonight.
Oh, gotta be.
They would love nothing more than to shut out the Trojans here in the M&M Bowl. That would be huge for them.
And on a 3rd and goal from the 15, if you're Millington, you got to be looking at it as 2-down territory.
Sure.
And just try to get half of it right here.
Absolutely. 2 wide receiver, Cortland Barnes lined up here on the near side. 1 wide receiver on the far side. Clifton facing down pressure. Thrown, screen pass caught by McKnight at the 15-yard line, driven backwards to the 20. Not what you want to have happen on 3rd and long. You lose 5 more yards on the busted screen play.
No, and Clifton here makes the decision to continue to go backwards instead of throwing the ball out of bounds as soon as he saw the pressure coming. And so now I think you're a little bit out of range of their kicker. If you're not, you're on the edge of it probably.
Well, it is 4th and 17. They've got it marked on the scoreboard. McKnight looks to be in the backfield. It'll be a 4 wide receiver set. Dowell lined up in the slot on the far side. Here on the near side, it's Garrett Haley. Barnes and Caldwell, your 2 outside receivers. Here we go, 4th and long, and the slot receiver on the far side moved before the ball was snapped. Adrian Dowell got a head start there, Chad.
And honestly, talk about shooting yourself in the foot, Andy.
Well, you get it down to the 6-yard line, and it's just penalty, 2 busted plays.
And you're far enough back now that you may consider, with only 2.5 minutes left in the half, punting it and trying to pin them down deep.
Yeah, the clock has stopped with 2:31 left to play here in the half, and now actually referee is, there he goes. He signals it to run.
Dime coverage for the Cougars. They're not going to let a pass get through.
Yeah, they are in their prevent defense here. Clifton escapes the pocket, looking to throw. Fires one over the middle. It's caught, but they had to find the end zone. They say it's incomplete. Yep, looked like he dropped it there at the end. Looked like he might have reeled it in at first, but either way, it's a turnover, and the Cougars will come out on offense. Great stand by the Munford defense.
Clifton probably should have taken off with that one and just gone as far as he could on the ground and then slid.
Yep, that would have been better for the Trojan defense here. Instead, they'll give it to the Cougars on the 22-yard line, their own 22-yard line.
So the Cougars defense seems to have found a little bit of a solution here to Millington's offense, and that is keep pressure on the quarterback. He doesn't perform as well under pressure.
3 wide receivers here for the Cougar on 1st and 10. There's a pitch out to Hawkins. Hawkins with blockers in front of him. Bounces out to the outside. Great tackle, though, that time. I think that was Adrian Dowell who brought him down, who made initial contact to drive him out of bounds. A flag. Was there a flag down? I thought I saw one come flying out.
It looked like there was a sort of late hit by Hawkins. I don't know if that's the way the referee saw it.
No flag out on the field, so.
It looked like once they were out of bounds, Hawkins threw the defender off of him.
2nd and 7 coming up now from the 25-yard line after the 3-yard pickup by Travion Hawkins. Hawkins again in the backfield. He's going to get the handoff once again, right up the middle. Oh, be careful switching that football in the middle of traffic.
Not a good idea.
You said, did I miss-see that? It looked like he went from the left to the right or vice versa one. 3rd and short now coming up here, and taking another look at the replay.
And he makes the switch right there.
Yep, he sure did.
Oh.
There's a handoff. Nope, it'll be O'Neal bouncing it to the outside. Got first down yardage and more. He falls forward to the 45-yard line.
Going to have to get back to the line of scrimmage here. O'Neal's already up and getting everybody else in line.
Yep, no timeouts remaining for the Cougars here in the first half. Clock will continue to run as soon as the ball is set. 1:39 and counting for Munford.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a pass here. Incompletion only stops the clock, so not a big deal if you don't make it.
Now under 1:30 left to play. O'Neal yelling the play, and we have a
Timeout, Millington.
we had a false start.
No. And that's what you don't want.
Drive killers. Absolute drive killers. You saw it happen to the Trojans just a moment ago.
I mean, they're on the 6-yard line, knocking on the door, and then the penalty kills the momentum.
So now the clock continues to run under 1:20. It'll be 1st and 15 now for the Cougars. From their own 40-yard line. Taking an awful long time in this huddle here with 13 seconds left on the play clock. No timeouts remaining for Munford, so they got to make something happen. Looking to throw, taking a shot down the field. O'Neal. Ball is tipped, still caught by the Cougars.
Oh, my goodness.
What a heads-up play by Icarius Hodgen. Clock will stop at 50 seconds until they reset it. What a catch.
How? I'm nearly speechless at that because I thought it was an interception that ends up being a catch by Icarius Hodgen.
Now they're going to say huddle up. Clock will continue to run, but the play clock still at 25.
I honestly could not recount for you how that exactly played out, but it was an amazing catch and really great holding on to the ball there.
30 seconds remaining. A pitch to the left for Hawkins. Hawkins bursts through the line in front of him. He's across the 20-yard line, knocked out of bounds. The clock will stop at 18 seconds remaining in the first half.
Yeah, about a good 9-yard gain and gets out of bounds, so now the clock is stopped. The down doesn't really matter. You're looking for end zone here.
Well, the problem for the Cougars right now is they have no timeouts remaining.
And only 18 seconds to work with, so you got to think you just go to the air from this point, but it doesn't look like that's the case. They're stacking everybody in tight.
Well, unless you get some sort of...
now they're going back to a huddle?
Well, they've got 10 seconds remaining before delay of game, so they better get to the line and get this snap off quickly. 3 seconds left. There's the snap. Lost the snap. I think the Trojans fell on top of it.
We're going to see here. Wait till we get
Millington football.
Big old TJ Graves. Just jumps on it, sees it, get dropped, and jumps right on it.
Taking a look at this catch made moments ago. The defender gets up, tips it. Great job of concentration there by Icarius Hodgen. But
yeah,
it's a fumble on 2nd and short for the Trojans. They give it, for the Cougars rather. They give it back to the Trojans on their own 19-yard line with 18 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Imagine they just take a knee and go to halftime here. They're lining the receiver up out wide, but I can't imagine running a play in this situation.
There's the knee. And they will indeed run this one out. Coach is telling everybody to go to the locker room. So 2 quarters in the books in the 2019 M&M Bowl. 6-0 is your score. Munford leading the Millington Trojans. Andy Maness and Chad Gatlin here to break down some halftime stats with you. Coming up next on your Ritter Communications halftime show. All part of the 2019 M&M Bowl coverage here on Tubetown.
Our dog got hit by a car. My wife and children were very upset about losing Buddy. While I was burying the dog, I cut the cable line.
Being a dog owner myself, it's hard losing a pet. So it's very important for us to get their services restored.
There's a winter storm hitting right now. It was a Friday night. You showed up and the very next morning in some pretty terrible conditions and fixed us up.
That's what we try to do here at Ritter in a bad situation, try to make it better.
Tubetown is now available on the Amazon Fire TV and Fire Stick. Watch live events from Tubetown on your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick. Head over to the App Store and search for Tubetown. Once your app is installed, you can watch every live event from Tubetown. Miss our live coverage? Our past events are available on demand. Download the Tubetown app to your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick today. Tubetown, live, local, from Ritter Communications.
My name is Kevin Moody. Both of my kids do online gaming. They let me know when the internet's down.
I'm Bobby Valentine. I work for Ritter Communication and I'm a technician level 2.
My services were completely out. They sent Bobby out the next day. He told me that the box was shot.
It was shot.
With a gun. And he had it fixed within a couple hours once he got there. Bobby switched out my modem for me and had me upgraded to a faster speed. And both of my kids have been singing Bobby's praises since.
My name is Donna Ann Lucy. I am from Caraway, Arkansas. I had been having trouble with my internet.
You got a lot of important things that you do from the internet, and you don't want to miss anything.
I usually use it to book rooms to watch my granddaughter play basketball. They had someone out that day, and it was back up within 20 minutes.
And it makes me feel so good to go there and take care of it, you know, and see the smile on her face, man. That makes my day right there.
I'm James Finley, and I'm from Jasper, Arkansas. We came in to have my mother's service turned on, and she needed to pick a plan. They were patient, answered every question, and there were a lot of questions.
We just took our time with her and wanted to make sure she had everything she needed.
You could see that they genuinely cared about my mother.
I don't want to go into a store and be treated like just another number. That's not how we roll in Jasper. Treat people how you want to be treated.
My name is Raynessa Chandler. I am currently the manager of technical support for Ritter Communications. Ritter is like family in more ways than one. My aunt retired after 33 and a half years here, and currently I have 2 cousins that work at Ritter. We have a variety of talented individuals. They motivate us and encourage us to do the right thing. We're grateful for the opportunity to work at a place such as Ritter and to be able to help others, because that's what it's all about, serving others.
Andy Manus, Chad Gatlin here with you at halftime. 6-0 is the score after the first 2 quarters between Munford and Millington. The Cougars on top of the Trojans, courtesy of a 74-yard touchdown rush by Avik White back in the second quarter. What a run by White to give the Cougars a lead. What a stand by the Cougars on defense to shut down the Trojans before the end of the half.
Yeah, and then a lot of the Trojans shooting themselves in the foot. They had a chance to go down and tie or take the lead. Had it on the 6-yard line, first down, and illegal procedure calls and false starts, and they just seemed to stack up on them, and they ended up with a 4th and 20 yards to go for a goal and turned the ball over on downs to Munford, so kind of blew the opportunity there. But it's been a lot of sloppy football early going, Andy. Just a lot of mistakes by both teams in this game.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes from both sides. I mean, I think the referees are probably just as tired of as the players are, because they've been throwing penalty flags all night long. I would assume somebody's got to get checked for Tommy John surgery before we get out of here tonight, as many flags as we've seen thrown.
You see the opening kickoff there, and then the ensuing play is going to be a turnover. Tommy Clifton on the keeper, and he's going to lose the ball right here, stripped out by Michael Dowell to start the game. Munford gets the ball right there, and you think, hey, they're in great position. And then a couple of plays later, they turn it over themselves. And so there you see right now, and the ball goes back out. No, it's on this play, I think, that the ball goes back to the Trojans.
It happened on the very next possession. The first 3 possessions of tonight's football game started off with fumbles recovered by the defense. So, like we've been saying, just kind of sloppy play so far through the first 2 quarters between both teams. Yeah, there's that first fumble by the Cougars. Between the turnovers, between the penalties, we're having an interesting night of football here.
First play from scrimmage after that fumble, and here's another fumble by Millington. So they give the ball up. Their first 2 plays from scrimmage end in fumbles and lost fumbles.
Yeah, again, just both teams trying to find their footing so far here in the first half. So far, Munford has been the only ones to find it. So we're going to step aside for another quick break. We'll come back and talk a little bit more about tonight's game between Munford and Millington. Andy Manis, Chad Gatlin here at the 2019 M&M Bowl. Thanks for joining us here on Tubetown.
Our dog got hit by a car. My wife and children were very upset about losing Buddy. While I was burying the dog, I cut the cable line.
Being a dog owner myself, it's hard losing a pet. So it's very important for us to get their services restored.
There's a winter storm hitting right now. It was a Friday night. You showed up and the very next morning in some pretty terrible conditions and fixed us up.
That's what we try to do here at Ritter in a bad situation, try to make it better.
Tubetown is now available on the Amazon Fire TV and Fire Stick. Watch live events from Tubetown on your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick. Head over to the App Store and search for Tubetown. Once your app is installed, you can watch every live event from Tubetown. Miss our live coverage? Our past events are available on demand. Download the Tubetown app to your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick today. Tubetown, live, local, from Ritter Communications.
My name is Kevin Moody. Both my kids do online gaming. They let me know when the internet's down.
I'm Bobby Valentine. I work for Ritter Communication, and I'm a technician level 2.
My services were completely out. They sent Bobby out the next day. He told me that the box was shot.
It was shot.
With a gun. And he had it fixed within a couple hours once he got there. Bobby switched out my modem for me and had me upgraded to a faster speed. And both of my kids have been singing Bobby's praises since.
My name is Donna Ann Lucy. I am from Caraway, Arkansas. I had been having trouble with my internet.
You got a lot of important things that you do from the internet, and you don't want to miss anything.
I usually use it to book rooms to watch my granddaughter play basketball. They had someone out that day, and it was back up within 20 minutes.
And it makes me feel so good to go there and take care of it, and see the smile on her face, man. That makes my day right there.
I'm James Finley, and I'm from Jasper, Arkansas. We came in to have my mother's service turned on, and she needed to pick a plan. They were patient, answered every question, and there were a lot of questions.
We just took our time with her and wanted to make sure she had everything she needed.
You could see that they genuinely cared about my mother.
I don't want to go into a store and be treated like just another number. That's not how we roll in Jasper. Treat people how you want to be treated.
My name is Raynessa Chandler. I am currently the manager of technical support for Ritter Communications. Ritter is like family in more ways than one. My aunt retired after 33 and a half years here, and currently I have 2 cousins that work at Ritter. We have a variety of talented individuals. They motivate us and encourage us to do the right thing. We're grateful for the opportunity to work at a place such as Ritter and to be able to help others, because that's what it's all about, serving others.
Right back here for the M&M Bowl, looking at some highlights. First one, we're going to see that 75-yard run ripped off by Avik White for the Munford Cougars. The only touchdown, the only score of the game so far. After that touchdown, they would try a two-point conversion and fail. And that's what gives us our 6-0 score now. Here you see that amazing catch by Akarius Hodgen after keeping focused on the pass that got tipped. And we see a pitch out now to the side to Travion Hawkins from Munford, and then here's the fumble on the exchange. That was Munford trying to get to the line too fast and make something happen. They took their time, huddled, got to the line, then they re-huddled, and then when they came back to the line, they realized they only had 3 seconds to snap the ball, and the snap was fumbled by O'Neal, and the Millington Trojans ended up with possession there, took a knee to run out the half, and now we are at halftime with a score of 6-0. We've got a few minutes left. We just saw the award-winning Munford High School band perform on the field, and now we'll see Millington High School's marching band get out here and perform as well. One thing I've been glad to see since my days of high school is that they don't make the band, when it's really hot, dress up in their full marching uniforms, because honestly, I think in some of these games, the heat would kill some people. Andy Maness and Chad Gatlin going to be covering the second half for you when we get kicked off. We are covering games all season long here on Ritter Tubetown. You can download the Ritter Tubetown app on your Fire TV stick. Back in just a moment here at the M&M Bowl.
Our dog got hit by a car. My wife and children were very upset about losing Buddy. While I was burying the dog, I cut the cable line.
Being a dog owner myself, it's hard losing a pet. So it's very important for us to get their services restored.
There's a winter storm hitting right now. It was a Friday night. You showed up and the very next morning in some pretty terrible conditions and fixed us up.
That's what we try to do here at Ritter in a bad situation, try to make it better.
Tubetown is now available on the Amazon Fire TV and Fire Stick. Watch live events from Tubetown on your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick. Head over to the App Store and search for Tubetown. Once your app is installed, you can watch every live event from Tubetown. Miss our live coverage? Our past events are available on demand. Download the Tubetown app to your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick today. Tubetown, live, local, from Ritter Communications.
My name is Kevin Moody. Both of my kids do online gaming. They let me know when the internet's down.
I'm Bobby Valentine. I work for Ritter Communication, and I'm a technician level 2.
My services were completely out. They sent Bobby out the next day. He told me that the box was shot.
It was shot.
With a gun. And he had it fixed within a couple hours once he got there. Bobby switched out my modem for me and had me upgraded to a faster speed. And both of my kids have been singing Bobby's praises since.
My name is Donna Ann Lucy. I am from Caraway, Arkansas. I had been having trouble with my internet.
You got a lot of important things that you do from the internet, and you don't want to miss anything.
I usually use it to book rooms to watch my granddaughter play basketball. They had someone out that day, and it was back up within 20 minutes.
And it makes me feel so good to go there and take care of it, you know, and see the smile on her face, man. That makes my day right there.
I'm James Finley, and I'm from Jasper, Arkansas. We came in to have my mother's service turned on, and she needed to pick a plan. They were patient, answered every question, and there were a lot of questions.
We just took our time with her and wanted to make sure she had everything she needed.
You could see that they genuinely cared about my mother.
I don't want to go into a store and be treated like just another number. That's not how we roll in Jasper. Treat people how you want to be treated.
My name is Raynessa Chandler. I am currently the manager of technical support for Ritter Communications. Ritter is like family in more ways than one. My aunt retired after 33 and a half years here, and currently I have 2 cousins that work at Ritter. We have a variety of talented individuals. They motivate us and encourage us to do the right thing. We're grateful for the opportunity to work at a place such as Ritter and to be able to help others, because that's what it's all about, serving others.
Our dog got hit by a car. My wife and children were very upset about losing Buddy. While I was burying the dog, I cut the cable line.
Being a dog owner myself, it's hard losing a pet. So it's very important for us to get their services restored.
There's a winter storm hitting right now. It was a Friday night. You showed up and the very next morning in some pretty terrible conditions and fixed us up.
That's what we try to do here at Ritter in a bad situation, try to make it better.
Andy Manus, Chad Gatlin back here with you on Tubetown. Still halftime, 6-0 is the score. Munford leading Millington.
And Millington getting stretched out in the end zone here as we see some halftime stats.
Yeah, pretty even as far as play calling goes. The Cougars running 26, the Trojans running 27. You see the time of possession is a bit skewed in favor of the Trojans, but take into consideration the Cougars had a one-play 74-yard drive that ended in a touchdown courtesy of Avik White. They did miss that extra point. But then we talked about how sloppy tonight's game has been. 3 turnovers you see there for the Cougars. They had 2 fumbles and then I believe a turnover on downs, and then 4 for the Trojans. Fumbles, you've got an interception as well. So, again, just a lot to kind of clean up as we get ready for the second half.
But if you're Coach Chris Michael for the Trojans, you got to think, man, if they told you before this game started that you'd have 4 turnovers at halftime, you wouldn't think you'd only be down 6 points. But because of mistakes on the Cougars side, they're only -1 in the turnover battle and right in the thick of this game.
Yeah, both teams kind of dropping the ball there at the end of the half. You had the Trojans getting all the way down to the 6-yard line, a couple of penalties in that drive with a turnover on downs, and then you've got the Cougars marching at the end of the quarter. Don't have any timeouts left, under 20 seconds left to play in the half, and they just tried to hurry too quick and made mistakes, and so that's got to change going toward the second half here.
Seen both quarterbacks take some shots. Tommy Clifton, of course, we expected it out of O'Neal. We didn't maybe expect to see throw as many times as we have already. Now, they mainly run the ball, and they run that read option on most plays, but they have run a few passing plays, and one, he was bailed out on a throw by Akarius Hodgin to get the ball down there close to the goal line. They just weren't able to convert on that one.
We're going to go ahead and take a 30-second timeout. We'll come back with the start of the third quarter here in the M&M Bowl. Back with more on Tubetown.
Tubetown is now available on the Amazon Fire TV and Fire Stick. Watch live events from Tubetown on your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick. Head over to the App Store and search for Tubetown. Once your app is installed, you can watch every live event from Tubetown. Miss our live coverage? Our past events are available on demand. Download the Tubetown app to your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick today. Tubetown, live, local, from Ritter Communications.
All right, Andy Manus, Chad Gatlin back here with you. Well, it looked like they were ready to start, and they put more time back on the clock for the teams to prepare. I wonder if they will take that time off as the Cougars are ready to go. And meanwhile, the Trojans are huddled up.
And Clifton, no, not Clifton. Who is that out there taking field goal reps? Eli Roberts.
Oh, well, heads up, team. I just The coach just had a football go flying by the back of his head, and he kind of ducked his head to avoid it and looked over at the kicker. All right, the Trojans headed to the sideline now.
So we may see them start here in just a minute as you see the cheerleaders getting some coaching of their own there on the sideline.
Take a look at this big touchdown run by Avik White to put the Cougars up 6-0.
Look at those awesome helmets, by the way.
Pretty sweet. Kind of make me think a little bit of the Boise State.
Yeah, the Bronco
helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very similar. I don't know if they're Nike helmets, but it's a very similar design.
I think I'm just very happy to see the Cougars out not in their digital camouflage.
No, that's right.
So hard to, the digital camouflage is cool, but
hard to read.
Very hard to see those gray numbers whenever you're up here and you're old and supposed to be wearing contacts and you're not.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier I should have worn my glasses tonight.
All right, got two men back deep to return for the Cougars. Travion Hawkins, Lamarius Payne, as the Trojans are getting ready to boot this one away.
Eli Roberts.
It looks like Romello Thomas actually might be the one taking the kick. We'll see. Nope, you're right. It is Eli Roberts.
And so that tells you why he was warming up a minute ago.
All right. It appears like we're ready.
Second half of the M&M Bowl getting ready to kick off. Munford, their second rivalry game in 2 weeks to start the season.
Had to put some time back on the play clock and then get the scoreboard correct. It now reads 12 minutes. We're ready for kickoff here in the third quarter after a little bit of a delay. Trojans and Cougars, second half of the M&M Bowl underway. Kickoff taken inside the 20-yard line by Hawkins. Dodges one return man, takes it out to the 35-yard line, and a strong arm tackle that time from, I think, Jalen Dyson was in there. Not sure if that's the one who made the initial hit, but good job by holding up the speedy Travion Hawkins.
Adrian Dowell, I think, that got the initial hit, and then Dyson came in to help clean it up. But, yeah, absolutely great making the first man miss by Hawkins there. And he'll head to the sidelines, get a breather for this first down play.
First series of the second half. O'Neal coming out to deliver the play to the Cougars in white.
Nice kick by Roberts.
It was a nice kick, but a great return by Hawkins sets the Cougars up at the 36-yard line. In the backfield is Avik White. In motion goes Kalen Boyd. But instead, it is a handoff to White, right up the middle, and he'll pick up maybe a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
Just a nice stop there right in the middle by number 65, who is TJ Graves. I'd lost him for a minute.
Second time we've called his name tonight. O'Neal back to the huddle with the play. Again, it'll be White in the backfield. Tristan Thomas lined up at wide receiver at the top of your screen. There's Boyd, goes in motion. O'Neal hands it off, and a flag comes flying out at about the 37-yard line. Referees talking to each other right now, and it'll be a false start.
And I mean,
picking right back up where we left off, hey?
These mental mistakes are killer for the momentum of this game. I mean, it just seems like it's drug on and you can't really keep any excitement going because every other play is stopped by a flag.
Well, and I don't know about you, Chad, but I didn't see anything that looked like a false start there.
I don't
looked
know.
Like the referee threw the flag as soon as Kalen Boyd took off in motion. Bobbled handoff that time. It's going to be Lamarius Payne, who kind of nearly fumbled there.
And to your point on that last play, I do think this ref crew is they have a problem with motion plays. They don't like them. And they're throwing a lot of illegal procedure flags on motion plays.
$10-10 left to play here in the third quarter. 3rd and 12 coming up. Tristan Thomas again goes out wide. Boyd lined up on the right. Payne lined up on the left. It's White in the backfield. Payne goes in motion. Fake to White. It's O'Neal keeping it himself. A head-first tackle attempt by Cortland Barnes as O'Neal dives forward, stretching out for that 45-yard line. He stopped short, obviously, stopped at about the 41-yard line.
I believe that one's going to come back, though. It's going to be a hold. Part of what broke him free for that many yards was the hold. If you watch here at the top of your screen, you'll see the hold right there. And you just can't hang on that tight, that long. Lamarius Payne there trying to do a good job blocking, but once the guy gets turned around, you can't wrap your arms around him.
So now they'll replay 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 19 coming up here.
So probably see O'Neal air it out here.
Yep, Tristan Thomas lines up as a wide receiver here on the near side at the bottom of your screen. Boyd goes in motion. It's a double reverse. Payne with a spin move across the 20 to the 25-yard line. Excuse me, check that, make that the 35-yard line. Gets back near the original line of scrimmage, but still a 4th and what appears to be an 11 or 12 coming up, Chad.
Yeah, and it looks like they were just going to kind of gamble and see what they could get right there. If they didn't get the first down, they're satisfied just to kick it and hold this Millington offense like they have all game long.
So one man back deep to return. It's Reggie Caldwell, ready to field the punt. Good snap, good hold, good kick. Fair catch called for by Caldwell at the 35-yard line, and he comes up limping a little bit. Looked like I wonder if he might have tweaked something taking that return there.
It looked like he sort of stopped short, maybe. I don't know if he was having trouble making the decision on the fair catch and didn't really, plant correctly, but it looked like he decided not to continue running immediately. See Clifton starting out in the shotgun.
Yeah, they have 2 wide receivers, make that 3 wide receivers. Got a new slot receiver in as the injured player come off just a second ago. And Reggie Caldwell. Clifton looking to throw. Wide receiver screen off the hands of the intended receiver, Adrian Dow.
And that screen was well run, just overthrown a little bit.
And now Dow comes up kind of limping a little bit. Looks like he might have caught a cramp there. So about that time in the night when you kind of sweat out all your fluids and we start seeing players cramp up here. So now 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Trojans. 4 wide receivers set this time as Clifton has Dowdy in the backfield standing to his right. It'll be Dowdy taking the handoff. Avoids the first defender. Cannot get by the 2nd and 3rd. He does get back to the line of scrimmage, but not much further than that. Chad, a 3rd and long coming up now for Millington.
Carson Roberson there on the stop. That's why you see a guy that is tall, but he doesn't have maybe the girth you would expect to have from a nose tackle in a 3-4 defense, but he does make the stop there. He's actually lined up an end now.
Trojans will now line up with 3 wide receivers here on the near side, 1 on the far side. We'll see if Clifton wants to air it out on a slot here. 3rd and 9 coming up. Looking to throw. Steps up in the pocket.
Roberson.
And just got through talking about him, and Tommy Clifton not happy about getting taken down there. But that pocket collapsed quickly on him.
Roberson explodes off the right end here, blows by his man, and then just wraps him up and hangs on.
Sure did. Just used his speed to get right around that end. You see Clifton is not happy about it.
He wants some breathing room back there, I think. Couldn't believe that block didn't get picked up.
Well, you said it earlier. The Cougars are having some success whenever they get pressure on Clifton. When it seems like anytime he's facing pressure, he is not handling it well. Good punt, considering the punter had to go up pretty high to get that snap. Ball is down at the 35-yard line. It took an awkward hop and hit a Trojan return man, and he was not happy about it either. Just kind of stood there.
Barnes couldn't get out of the way there.
Yeah, kind of stood there like, are you kidding me? I can't believe that just hit me. So now the Cougars will come back out here in the third quarter for the second time. Ball spotted on their own 36-yard line. They've got a 6-point lead. Their style of play is working in their favor. Most you can do right now is just try to eat the clock down, as you're not having a ton of success with your offensive game plan. Here's O'Neal on the keeper. Bounces off of one defender as he crosses the 40-yard line, makes it out to the 45. What a move at the line of scrimmage by O'Neal.
Great spin move to break it on outside and get up near the first down marker. It looks like it'll be a little shy.
Yeah, take a look at him just bounce right off this hit. Lowers his shoulder, spins right off the defender there, and makes it out near the first down marker. And now we've got a cramp out here. I think that's Cortland Barnes trying to stretch it out.
The move there by O'Neal was that was Madden-like.
It really was. Truck stick and a spin. Trying to work on Cortland Barnes right now. Just got a cramp. Again, we've seen a couple of the Trojan players kind of deal with that the last few snaps. So, we
got to get that Gatorade.
Oh no, we had we also had a holding flag on that last play, it appears, because the ball has now been moved back to about the 28-yard line.
I didn't see the flag come out.
I didn't either. Let's take a look at the replay.
Here.
Yeah, it's going to be holding.
Well, I do see the hold.
Yep, right there. Call that on Lamarius Payne. Yeah, call that on Lamarius Payne, 24 for Munford.
It's Lamarius Payne's second hold this half.
He basically just tackled the defender from behind, and I don't think you're supposed to do that. So take a look for 24 at the top of the huddle right there. He just wrapped up 41, still holding on to him. You can see him right there where Jackson O'Neal has got the spin.
And here's where he's messing up. He did this on the last hold, too. Once they're past you, let go.
Yep.
It would not have been called if you back up a couple of more frames there, it wouldn't have been called. But once he is in front of you, you have to let him go.
Yep, and Lamarius Payne just holding on to that blocker to that defender for dear life as a blocker. So referee standing right on top of that, did not miss that for anything. So Cortland Barnes is now up and walking off the field as you take a look at that hold by Lamarius Payne. Backs up that big run by Jackson O'Neal there. Hate to see that for the Cougars when they get a little bit of momentum going.
Good to see Cortland Barnes up and walking off the field under his own power. You always worry when they go down, even if you think it's a cramp. You're never quite sure until you see them get up and give that sign that they're okay.
There's the handoff to White. White runs it right up the middle, and he's stopped at the original line of scrimmage. Oh, nope, beg your pardon. That's not the original line. He only picked up a couple yards. I was like, that's not right. Had myself fooled. 2nd and 16. Coming up after the 2-yard pickup.
O'Neal got the call from the sideline. Now he's coming out. Although it does look like they're making some checks once the defense gets set. Not in this case, sends man in motion.
O'Neal looking to throw, taking a shot down the far sideline. Nearly picked off. Going up strong to get that one is Milton Yarbrough.
Tristan Thomas, the intended receiver, but Yarbrough sees that it's going to be just a little bit short, gets up and gets his hand on it.
Well, and with the 6'3" wide receiver in Tristan Thomas, you've got an opportunity to give your guy a chance to go up and get the ball, but honestly, that one is just underthrown.
Yeah, it's not by that much. It's just a little underthrown, but that's what makes all the difference. And a good heads-up play by the defender there to at least get an arm in and break it up. Could have had the pick.
Third and long. O'Neal looking to throw again. Slips in the backfield. Now he steps up in the pocket, runs into a blocker. And it looked like he might have just panicked, Chad. As soon as he slipped, I think he lost his eyes downfield.
Yeah, I think that's true, but he did make a good decision there just to cover up the ball and go down. We saw him last week in a situation almost exactly like this, where he gets covered up by a couple of defenders and then tries to kick the ball over to his running back and ends up in a fumble. So this is the right call here, just to hang on to the ball.
It does bring up fourth down. It gives his team a chance to punt it away, and we know that their special teams unit is pretty strong. Had a couple of really good punts off.
And apparently Millington knows their special teams unit is pretty strong too, because we've seen fair catches on the punts.
And Caldwell still kind of favoring that right leg, it appears. Maybe it's the left leg. I can't tell. He may be favoring both of them at this point.
Maybe it's just how he walks. I don't know.
It's a good punt by the Cougars. And won't take too much of a roll, but it will go inside the 40-yard line. They'll spot it at about the 37.
So now the Trojans will get another shot, Andy. It's third quarter. They're only down 6-0. You got to think here at home, with the success they've had on a couple of drives, they know that they're not far from breaking one and getting into the end zone.
Well, when you can air it out like they can, any play, any drive.
Well, and you know, that's the difference between Tommy Clifton year 1 and Tommy Clifton year 4, is they can make those long throws downfield that he couldn't make as a freshman. But as he's matured, gotten older, stronger, put on muscle, now he can make all the throws.
Yeah, got him listed at about 200. Stout little quarterback back in the backfield for Millington. There's a handoff. Swallowed up in the backfield is Dowdy. Lost about 2, maybe 3 yards on that first down carry. Not the direction you want to go in if you're a Trojan.
Absolutely not, but that is definitely the stop you want if you are the Munford Cougars. And I noticed Munford is subbing in 1 or 2 fresh guys on the line here and there, trying to keep that pressure heavy.
Yeah, they've only been coming with 3 down linemen the whole game, but you see them bringing a little bit of pressure with the linebackers here on the near side. Now they're bringing it from the far side. Play action, throw it over the middle. Nearly caught by Haley.
Should have been caught.
Yeah, Cameron Haley, the big tight end, gets an opportunity to haul one in, and now we've got another player down with a cramp, Romello Thomas, trying to stretch that leg out.
Travion Hawkins had tight coverage on that play, but it was a well-placed ball that it was just a missed opportunity for the Trojans there. We'll see him bring out some more Gatorade for the players, try to get those electrolytes.
He needs some milk.
Maybe H2O is better.
Milk would be a bad idea right now. milk would be awful. 3:56 left to play here in the third quarter. 3rd and 12 coming up.
You know, the drinking of the milk at the Indianapolis 500 is something I've always thought, how do they do that? After being in that hot car for all that time, and then they drink that ginormous gallon of milk.
Like, I know it's got to be cold, but at the same time, it's kind of like that scene in Anchorman. He's walking down the street drinking milk. This was a bad idea. It's horrible. All right, Still getting stretched out. Romello Thomas working out a cramp. Let's go ahead and take a quick timeout while they attend to Romello Thomas. Get him some pickle juice. We'll be back with more of the M&M Bowl here in the third quarter right after this on Tubetown.
My name is Kevin Moody. Both of my kids do online gaming. They let me know when the internet's down.
I'm Bobby Valentine. I work for Ritter Communication, and I'm a technician level 2.
My services were completely out. They sent Bobby out the next day. He told me that the box was shot.
It was shot.
With a gun. He had it fixed within a couple hours once he got there. Bobby switched out my modem for me and had me upgraded to a faster speed. And both of my kids have been singing Bobby's praises since.
Andy Manus, Chad Gatlin back here with you in Millington. 6-0 is the score. Munford leading over the Trojans. You see Romello Thomas working out a cramp right now. Seems like every other play here for the last few plays, we've had the Trojans kind of slow up the game a little bit with a little bit of dehydration.
Yeah, definitely showing some conditioning problems here, or at least some hydration problems at the very least for the Millington Trojans. Although he may have had a sprain here. He's trying to walk it off, but, I mean, honestly, I don't know. Cramp, I'm not sure that you're still walking like that after this long.
It depends on how bad the cramp is. I've had a pretty gnarly one before, and it kind of makes you feel like that as you're trying to walk it off. So, all right, 3rd and 12 coming up now that we are ready to resume play here in the third quarter. Clock continues to roll. Under 3:50 left to play in the third now. There's play action. Clifton rolling out to his left. Throwing across his body. Got a man at the 45-yard line. Caught and driven out of bounds for a first down.
Nicely
Big time catch by Adrian Dow.
Nicely done. Clifton on the bootleg out left. Just throws across his body. It looks like the most ill-advised thing to do, but he squares up and boom, hits his man. Just a well-run play there.
He threw that one right where it needed to go, and Dow with plenty of room. Didn't have anyone around him. Had a chance to pick up a few extra yards and move the chains for the Trojans. Clock is once again stopped, though. 3:36 left to play in the third. Three wide receivers set here for the Trojans.
Wouldn't be surprised if they go to the air again, try to hit a quick slant route.
Absolutely. They send a man in motion. They hand it off to Dowdy. And Dowdy will get stopped at the line of scrimmage. Might have lost about half a yard there, Chad. So they stick to the ground game. See if they air it out here on second down.
And they may be trying to set up play action once again just to free up Clifton in the backfield. They know that he doesn't do that well when the pressure gets to him. So if they can set up the fake enough to give him breathing room, they know it'll help him in the passing game.
Two wide receivers lined up here on the near side, and one of them jumps offside. Garrett Haley.
He knew immediately.
Yep, you saw that one happen.
He saw that before.
And he's catching an earful right now from Clifton. Clifton, I think, just sent him off the field.
I don't know that I've ever seen a high school quarterback be able to send one of his players to the bench, but that certainly appears to be what happened.
Yeah, Garrett.
He felt bad enough. He knew as soon as it happened. He had his head in his hands.
He is not happy about it either. Haley's a little upset down here. Clifton takes the snap. Clifton gets driven down in the backfield. What a sack. And guess who that is? Carson Roberson.
Roberson, the 6 foot, 191-pound senior, just busting through the line again. This time he's coming from the left end position and brings down the quarterback. That's his second sack in this game and in this quarter. This guy's a football player.
He came to play tonight for sure. A 3rd and long now coming up.
I think we've seen him at every position on the line, and then I think he's also lined up at linebacker once or twice.
Yeah, again, we noticed that not too many, nose tackles out there, not too many defensive ends for the Cougars. It looks like they're just bringing their linebacking core the whole way. Here's Clifton on the keeper. Driven down at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Clifton is having a rough night out there tonight.
And I am telling you, that one, Roberson was in the backfield on that one, but Javon Bonner ended up with the stop there. And it's just the size of these Munford defensive players. I mean, you've got Bonner right there. He's 6'2", 209 pounds. You've got Roberson at 6', 191, and they're both bearing down on you every time you snap the ball.
You see Clifton talked to over here on the sideline. None too happy about that drive. There's a punt. Great kick. High punt. Bounces at the 35-yard line. Takes a Millington roll. Well, it started to, but checked up after that first bounce. Stopped at the 34-yard line. The Cougars come out with less than a minute left to work with here in the third quarter.
And you know the Cougars, at this point, they feel good about their defense making the stops, and so they're just going to play their game. They're not in a rush to try to make anything happen. They're not going to try to take too many chances through the air. They're going to go with more sure-handed plays because they have the upper hand right now, and they feel like they can keep Millington from scoring even if they can't get into the end zone.
White is the tailback in the backfield. He'll get the handoff. No, O'Neal on the keeper, bounces to the outside, down the far sideline. Whoa, what a fake that time.
Oh, man. O'Neal marching it all the way down to the 25-yard line.
Well, I sure thought that he handed that ball off to White, but right there at the last second just snatched it out, keeps it himself. All eyes are on Alvick White, and Jackson O'Neal bounces it to the outside for a huge pickup. We've got another Millington player who is down on the ground. What a big-time first down pickup there.
And that is a 40-yard dash you get to see from O'Neal there. O'Neal is staying around the injured Millington player for some reason on the field. And so I'm a little curious as to what's going on. It looks like a standard cramp, but it seems like, oh, it looks like his mouthpiece was under the player. And that was the problem. His mouthpiece was on the ground, either under or near the player. So he was trying to get that back. You know, it's frustrating for Millington to have all these cramps, but it's got to also be frustrating for Munford that every time they get momentum on a play, something like this happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So 45 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. We're going to go ahead and step aside for another quick break while they attend to Marquise Flowers of Millington. Andy Manis, Chad Gatlin back with more here right after this. You see Marquise Flowers of Millington trying to work out a cramp. 45 seconds and counting left to play here in the third quarter. The Cougars have it 1st and 10 after that 40-yard pickup by Jackson O'Neal. O'Neal looking to throw now. Takes a shot downfield, down the far sideline. Got a man inside the 5-yard line. Referee says he hauled it in inbounds. That's Jesse Savage on the reception.
That's a good throw, good catch by Jesse Savage. He was wide open over there. The defender had to come back to get him, and thank goodness he did for the Trojans, or that would have been a touchdown pass. But now, looking to go up by 2 scores, the Cougars feeling really good.
First and goal. There's the handoff to White. White rumbles forward. Looks like he got across the goal line to me. And there's the signal from the far side referee. He did get in, and now we've got a penalty.
That's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct.
It will
after
be,
the
yeah,
play.
it'll be after the play.
The Munford band plays Rocky Top on the scoring of that play. Looks like we're about to get the unsportsmanlike call. I'm sure they'll take it on the kickoff. Oh. So it's offsetting penalties. Personal foul on Munford and on Millington.
Well, there's opening kickoff. Here is that first down play a minute ago.
Savage, you see Savage, and he's being covered right there by Milton Yarbrough, and Milton Yarbrough he realizes he missed his man as soon as the ball gets in the air, and he tries to make up for it. He almost knocked him out of bounds on the catch, but able to get the foot down and stay in.
Going for two here. O'Neal.
Looks like he got it.
Yeah, O'Neal on the keeper.
No
I
good.
think he did. Nope.
And another
another flag comes flying out. So
it looked like he fell across the line to me, but maybe our angle was bad. The referee signals no good. The far side referee, the near side referee, I don't think ever signaled. So we may have had a punch thrown here. Looked like Logan Kramer with some extracurricular activity there. I think the referee signaled for an ejection, Andy.
They're actually gonna pick the flag up and wave it off there.
Oh wow. Well, they stick the flag back after it looked like initially they were discussing an ejection.
This thing's getting a little bit edgy down here. Got 1 second left to play here in the third quarter, so I think we might have a replay of this here.
The eagle eyes on our crew caught this punch. I didn't see it in that.
Yeah, I didn't really see anything there.
I didn't see it in that, but I think it occurred after the scrum we saw there. I think the flag was just a second or two after that.
1 second left to play here in the third quarter. Taking a look at Adrian Dowell, standing back deep at his own 10-yard line, ready to return this kick. It's an onside kick, a little short squib kick. Oh, he waited a little bit too late to call that fair catch.
He must have called it prior because they wouldn't have blown the whistle for him sticking his hand up after he caught it.
Woo. All right, we're headed to the fourth quarter. 12-0 is the score. Munford leading Millington. It'll be Trojan football when we come back here on Tubetown.
My name is Donna Ann Lucy. I am from Caraway, Arkansas. I had been having trouble with my internet.
You got a lot of important things that you do from the internet, and you don't want to miss anything.
I usually use it to book rooms to watch my granddaughter play basketball. They had someone out that day, and it was back up within 20 minutes.
And it makes me feel so good to go there and take care of it, you know, and see the smile on her face, man. That makes my day right there.
Andy Manis, Chad Gatlin here with you. Taking a look here as 54 for Munford gets up from the pile. It's right there, maybe a little.
It does look like he's going to throw there.
A little bit of a shove.
I think he
there,
pulls
maybe.
himself back a little bit at the end.
Yeah, I think he does also. Good job by our crew here.
Maybe that's why they picked the flag up, is because one of the officials that was closer said, no, he didn't actually go through with the act.
1st and 10, we'll see if Tommy Clifton has regained some of his composure. Kind of seemed like he was getting a little frustrated at the end of that last drive. Had a penalty, moved the ball back, and then got sacked behind the line a couple of consecutive times.
Roberson has been a beast on this Munford defense in the second half so far.
Yeah, watch out for number 6 in white. He's on the far side of the line for the Munford Cougars. Clifton takes
Here he
the
goes.
snap, takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, fires downfield, short and incomplete, looking for Reggie Caldwell. And boy, you said it, Roberson was coming.
He had a hand on him. He just couldn't hang on. But, I mean, he got a hand on the quarterback that time around. Lining up at that right end position. Then they're bringing Michael Dowell as sort of a hybrid linebacker, defensive end right beside him. He'll go out to cover the slot receiver on this play.
Four wide receivers. One safety back deep here. Clifton taking the handoff himself. The option play did not work out. Clifton drug down out of bounds, and right there at the end, the referee will drop the flag for a late hit. We had 3 white jerseys on him after they crossed the sideline. So
you have to let him go after that.
Yeah, you can't really get too upset about that one if you're a Cougar fan.
Bryson Jernigan and Carson Roberson combining on the hit that took him out of bounds. By the time he got out of bounds, he had 3 players on him and just held on too long. You just can't keep pushing.
Yeah, take another look at the option here. Fake to Dowdy.
There's Jernigan. He's going to wrap him up. Then Roberson comes in to help clean up, and then
right there, he's out. Right there.
Yeah. Just continue to drag him to the ground.
They got the ball spotted. It appears that the Cougars were not too happy about that penalty over there.
Well, they felt like that he couldn't, that it was just the normal motion of the play and that the guy was falling, and it wasn't that he intentionally drug him down. Now a sideline infraction against the Cougars is going to move the ball 5 more yards.
Oh, wow, not even a warning, just a penalty.
It had to be the coach mad about that call. Maybe got a little too far away from the sideline.
So Clifton lines up in the shotgun with 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end to throw to. Dowdy in the backfield with him. Turns, fires to the near sideline. That's Reggie Caldwell on the reception. Hit at the 40-yard line, dropped right at the 40.
And Caldwell does a good job catching it there, and the outside receiver got smacked.
They're trying to set up a little screen out there, and it didn't really pay off there for the Trojans. A pickup of about 1, maybe 2. It'll be second and short coming up now with about 11 minutes left to play in the ball game. The Trojans trailing by 2 scores. Officially marked it at the 40. Second and 3 coming up.
Caldwell was fussing at the referee. He felt like there was a penalty there at the end.
There's Damarian Dowdy taking the handoff on second down. He picks up 1, maybe 2 yards. It'll be third and even shorter coming up. About 3rd and 1, it appears they're going to mark it.
So it looks like they're going to send Caldwell out to the left now.
That's a long 1 yard, Chad.
It is.
My word.
Look for the keeper here from Clifton. It's been their best bet in short yardage situations. Going with the I formation.
Yeah, ball spotted at the 38. They got to get down to the 36. Nice job by that offensive line, carrying Clifton to the 36, so they will move the chains along with them. Look at the big hog mollies getting behind Clifton for the push.
Hunter Lucas grabbing and just pushing Clifton across the line to get that first down. Millington really needs a score on this drive, or it starts to not look like they can come back. It's 10 minutes left now. You have to consider the amount of time the other team is going to try to possess the ball.
Play clock ticking down from 10 now. 3 wide receivers, 2 on the far side, 1 on the near for Clifton. Far side receiver on the slot, coming on the sweep, firing downfield is Clifton. Oh, nearly caught by Reggie Caldwell. He came back to get that football, made the adjustment he needed to, but just couldn't haul it in. Good
Covered
job
by Jara Dowell.
Yeah, good job by the defense.
We'll see a better angle right here, but it looked like Dowell had a hand on him. Well, no, it was clean, though. I mean, he had a hand out, but it was clean. No flag there, just good defense from Jar Dowell.
Yeah, Dowell, it looks like, gets his head turned around right when the football arrives.
Right.
Sticks that left arm in there right there.
So he throws the block out, but, I mean, that's not – he didn't grab him, and it's just a perfect defense.
Not a bad idea that time, attempting a shot on first down.
Now, if you're the Trojans, I just run the same play again.
Well, it appears we had a penalty because it's now 1st and 15. So they backed it up a little bit. Here's the option. Clifton on the keeper. Tried to hurdle a defender, landed on his shoulder. Thankfully, he just popped right back up as he lost the football, but it...
Now, they're going to say he was down.
Well, the football, the ground caused the fumble there.
Let's take another look at it and see, because if the ball comes loose, no, you're right, it doesn't come loose until he hits the ground.
Whew. Crazy little play there by Tommy Clifton.
Bullet dodged by the Trojans.
Hey, you don't want to see Clifton landing on his shoulder anytime soon.
You don't want to see him taking jumps like that.
Oh, big blitz coming here for the Cougars. Clifton flushed out of the pocket, has to fire. Oh, man. Bryson Jernigan was bearing down on him from that corner blitz position.
And then at the end of the play, Clifton takes a hit from Carson Roberson.
Look at 7. He got started right before the ball was snapped, timed that rush perfectly. And as Chad mentions, Clifton yet again takes another shot.
Now, he did the smart thing there, threw it at a receiver's feet. It was a great way to get rid of the ball and put it somewhere where the defense wasn't going to pick it off, rather. You can tell Clifton's getting frustrated. He doesn't like being hassled in the backfield. He wants his offensive line to give him a couple of seconds here.
8:36 to play. Play clock ticked down to 0. Millington has to use their first timeout of the second half. They have 2 remaining. Munford still with all 3 of theirs. The score is 12-0 again with 8:36 to play in the fourth. We're back with more of the 2019 M&M Bowl right after this on Tubetown. Andy Manus, Chad Gatlin back here with you. 12-0 is the score. Millington had to take a timeout there. 3rd and 15 coming up for them.
And you know, you don't have to go to the air here. I mean, we're pretty sure that's what they're going to do. Clifton has a big arm. But you can try a toss and try to get some of the yardage and make it a 4-down situation here. If you're Millington, you want to hang on to the ball and score on this drive. And so if that means going 4 downs instead of making this an all or nothing, then that's what you do.
Again, the Cougars bringing the blitz. This time Clifton ready for it. Still rolling out, though. They chase him down from behind.
Guess who?
Carson Roberson. Bryson Jernigan in there as well, and you see Clifton comes up. Not happy at all. A 4th and long now coming up for the Trojans. Clifton staying out there on the field. We'll see if they're going to try to punt it away. Wait, we got a flag down in the defensive backfield.
That is way back there, too.
That flag is all the way out here at the 29-yard line, and it is holding on the defense. So that's a 5-yard penalty. They'll replay 3rd down, so Tommy Clifton gets another chance on 3rd.
And take 1 sack away from Roberson.
Look at, again, Jernigan just coming free.
I know. He chases him down. Roberson cleans it up. It's a 1-2 punch here from the Cougars. It's amazing.
He busted through that offensive line. Nobody got a finger on Bryson Jernigan coming through there.
While the play has been a little sloppy here, Roberson is definitely, and even last week you could see some highlights from Roberson. He's definitely a guy who is going to see some Saturdays, I think.
Clock continuing to roll now at about 8:20 to play in the ball game. Trojans need a touchdown here. They, more than anything right now, they need to get the ball to the 25-yard line.
It's only 3rd and 5, though, so the whole playbook's open for you right now. Munford knows that, so they can't play the pass exclusively here. Looks like they're going to put 5 guys at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're going to bring some pressure here. And again, the play clock will tick down to 0. Delay of game called on the Trojans. They'll back it up 5 yards. 4th and 10 now coming up.
And it looks like they called a timeout before the flag was thrown.
Yep. So the Trojans avoid a 5-yard penalty there. They have to burn, however, their second timeout of the second half with 7:56 remaining. So that one could come back to bite them. 12-0 is the score. We'll take a quick timeout with them. We're back. Trojan football, 3rd and 5 after this.
I'm James Finley, and I'm from Jasper, Arkansas. We came in to have my mother's service turned on, and she needed to pick a plan. They were patient, answered every question, and there were a lot of questions.
We just took our time with her and wanted to make sure she had everything she needed.
You could see that they genuinely cared about my mother.
I don't want to go into a store and be treated like just another number. That's not how we roll in Jasper. Treat people how you want to be treated.
Andy Maness and Chad Gatlin back here with you. Clifton under center in the I formation. 3rd and 5 coming out of the timeout. Ball spotted on the 30-yard line. One wide receiver for Clifton out to the far side. We'll see what the Trojans want to do with it here. They're bringing pressure. Handoff goes to Dowdy. Dowdy spins past the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up 2 yards there, so it'll be 4th and short coming up for Millington. Clifton getting the call from the sideline right now. They're ready to run a 4th down play already. 7:40 left to play in the game.
And I honestly, a lot of people would criticize that. I think it's a good call right there. You've got the chance to catch them off guard and make it. If you don't, you've still got 4th down and it's short yardage. So you're really in no worse position than you were.
Well, you got to wonder if they tipped their hat, though, on the formation, because Munford very much appeared ready for that run out of the I formation. So
that's valid. That is a valid concern there.
We'll see what happens here. 4th and 3, same I formation. Dowdy in the backfield.
Up a fake for the outside throw.
Oh, got him on the hard count.
Yep.
Got him on the hard count. Jumping offside that time was Teravik Lark, senior linebacker.
Nicely done. Nice hard count from Tommy Clifton there. I believe what they were going to do is fake the draw and throw it out wide on a quick screen. Just let the receiver make the first man miss and get the 1st down.
Well, now they'll back up.
They don't have to worry about it now.
Yeah, they'll back up to the shotgun formation now. Getting out of that I, and I think this is where they're most comfortable running.
Shot at the end zone right here, I'm thinking.
3 wide receivers, Dowdy in the backfield.
Nope.
Handoff to Dowdy on the option, and that time Clifton read it wrong. Hands it off to Dowdy, and he runs into a wall of defenders. Take another look here as the 2 ends on the right side just collapsed perfectly. Guess who? Roberson breaking right through that line. 6 in white and maroon has been a nightmare tonight if you're a Trojan.
Yeah, and it was just a read. He was reading the right end, so he didn't see the pressure coming from the left. His head was turned the wrong way. Let the back keep the ball and get gobbled up in the backfield.
There's the snap. Play action. Throwing over the middle. Too tall for Cameron Haley. That was a great route run by Haley. He was open, just could not hit the open man.
Just a little. I mean, I think he got excited that he had the guy that open and overthrew it. Look right here. It just sails over his head. There's no way he's going to catch that.
So now 3rd and 14 coming up.
But man, look at the tight spirals that Clifton throws even when he's overthrowing it. I mean, this guy can absolutely throw with the best of them in high school. I mean, you don't see that kind of a pretty pass from all that many high school quarterbacks.
Well, they got 4 wide receivers to throw to here. Play action, looking to throw. Sidearm slings it over the middle. And I think I saw a flag come flying out at the end of that one, and it could be pass interference on the defense. Just saw the referee signal it.
That's what it's going to be.
So the Trojans catching a big break there. But how about, I'll tell you one thing, the Trojans caught a break in the backfield because one of their linemen definitely held one of the Cougars. But the referee did not see it. It gave Clifton a little bit of time to escape the pocket and fire downfield. Take another look here as it looks like Roberson got held right there.
And look, that was way too late a decision by Clifton to throw it. He was open. He's open here, and Clifton doesn't make the throw until now, while he also has a man out to his left wide open.
Either way, the penalty will give the Trojans a 1st and 10. Now they're inside the 20-yard line.
I believe Munford just called a timeout.
They did. They used their first of the second half, so we will take a timeout with them. 12-0 is the score. The Cougars lead, but the Trojans threatening to score with 6:04 left to play in the fourth quarter. Back with more of the M&M Bowl here on Tubetown right after this.
My name is Raynessa Chandler. I am currently the manager of technical support for Ritter Communications. Ritter is like family in more ways than one. My aunt retired after 33 and a half years here, and currently I have 2 cousins that work at Ritter. We have a variety of talented individuals. They motivate us and encourage us to do the right thing. We're grateful for the opportunity to work at a place such as Ritter and to be able to help others, because that's what it's all about, serving others.
Andy Manus, Chad Gatlin back here with you. 6:04 left to play in the fourth quarter. It's a 2-possession ball game, but the Trojans doing their best to try to make it a 1-possession game.
The thing is, they've eaten up 5 minutes on this drive already.
This is about the 14th or 15th play. Triple option here for Clifton, and he keeps it himself. And I think he knows he did not make the right decision on that play. Looked like he might have had some run to room on that sweep from the wide receiver running left to right.
Yeah, it was not a good decision on the keeper there. Hard to read when you're and in high school, see, they're only teaching the quarterbacks to make one read. And so when you're reading one defensive player, you sometimes don't see the pressure coming from the other ones. And that's why you make those bad decisions. So not necessarily Clifton's fault as much as he's focused in the wrong area of the field.
4 wide receivers, play action, throws it over the middle on the slant. It is complete at the 10-yard line. A pickup of 3 through the air.
Caldwell there with a catch. Clifton took a hit at the end of the play, comes up limping a little bit. Looks like he's shaking it off now. He's going to stay out there, but Clifton looked a little rough after that play.
We've certainly been through the ringer tonight, Chad.
Oh, he's been hit. I can't tell you how many times. And, I mean, he's asked to carry the ball on top of taking those hits in the backfield.
Had that one play where he almost hurdled a defender, kind of got rolled over on his shoulder. Under 5 minutes left to play here in the ball game. 3rd and 7 coming up.
Single coverage on the right.
Got to get down to the 4-yard line. Thrown to the single coverage on the right. Oh, so close to the 5-yard line, but stopped at about the 7. Cortland Barnes on the reception there. A 4th and short coming up now for Millington. This will most likely be one of the biggest plays of the ball game.
Well, and when you're down 12-0, it's an easy decision. So now, you have to decide what play to run, but there's no question you're going for the first down. You're not going to settle for a field goal here.
So 4th and 4 for the Trojans. 2 wide receivers, 1 on either side for Clifton. 9 guys in the box for the Cougars on defense. There's the snap, looking to throw. Clifton in the end zone, nearly intercepted.
Nicely done.
And it's Cougar football.
That was a great pass break up there by the Cougar defense. Just got a hand on it in the lane here.
Yeah, take a look.
And it's going to be Kelton Mason. First time we called his name tonight, and maybe the most important play of the game for Munford. as they keep Millington out of the end zone and all but seal this game up with an injured Trojan in the end zone, and that is Caldwell.
We'll go ahead and take a quick break while they attend to him. 3:44 left to play here in the ball game. It'll be Munford Cougar football from the 7-yard line when we come back.
Our dog got hit by a car. My wife and children were very upset about losing Buddy. While I was burying the dog, I cut the cable line.
Being a dog owner myself, it's hard losing a pet. So it's very important for us to get their services restored.
There's a winter storm hitting right now. It was a Friday night. You showed up and the very next morning in some pretty terrible conditions and fixed us up.
That's what we try to do here at Ritter in a bad situation, try to make it better.
Tubetown is now available on the Amazon Fire TV and Fire Stick. Watch live events from Tubetown on your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick. Head over to the App Store and search for Tubetown. Once your app is installed, you can watch every live event from Tubetown. Miss our live coverage? Our past events are available on demand. Download the Tubetown app to your Amazon Fire TV or Fire Stick today. Tubetown, live, local, from Ritter Communications.
First and 10 Cougars after that injury timeout. It's Jackson O'Neal bringing it up the middle from the 7-yard line, picking up first down yardage. He makes his way out to the 20. It's a 13-yard pickup.
Nice methodical run. We see Caldwell here trying to work out whatever it is that happened. He did not come off the field on his own power. He was carried off the field by Clifton and another teammate. But now we see him on his feet. So it may have just been a cramp, but it was severe if it was.
Nearing the 3-minute mark, Munford with 2 timeouts, Millington with 1. The Trojans trail 12-0.
Millington defense needs a turnover if they have any hope in this game.
I had forced 3 of them in the first half. There's a handoff to White. White makes his way up the middle. Picked up a good 3, maybe 4 yards on first down. Chad, it'll be 2nd and 6, and this is what the Cougars want. They want that clock to continue to roll.
Absolutely. That's all they want to do is keep control, hands on the ball, don't turn it over, and keep the clock running.
O'Neal comes out of the huddle with 2 wide receivers. White is in the backfield. Carry is Hodgen. Flashes to the backfield, but trying to check their coverage here and see if they've got the right play call. 15 seconds left on the play clock. I think that's part of the stall tactic here as well. Just run the play clock down as far as you can run it and let this game time tick off of the clock.
Yeah. Well, they're about to get a delay of game penalty.
They call a timeout. So that stops the clock with 2:11 left to play here in the fourth quarter. We'll go ahead and take a timeout with them. Both teams with 1 timeout remaining here in the second half. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the 24-yard line for Munford when we come back on Tubetown.
My name is Kevin Moody. Both of my kids do online gaming. They let me know when the internet's down.
I'm Bobby Valentine. I work for Ritter Communication, and I'm a technician level 2.
My services were completely out. They sent Bobby out the next day. He told me that the box was shot.
It was shot.
With a gun. He had it fixed within a couple hours once he got there. Bobby switched out my modem for me and had me upgraded to a faster speed. And both of my kids have been singing Bobby's praises since.
.211 left to play here in the ball game. Some of the Millington fans thinking about heading for the exit. Some of them already are.
Yeah, it does look like a decent stream of people deciding to go ahead and try to beat the traffic out of here.
2:11 left to play after the timeout. 2nd and 6. Ball's on the ground. The Trojans have it.
Oh, and recovered by Cortland Barnes there, and that is exactly what this Millington Trojans team needed. They're here on this end of the field. Now look, if they can punch this in, now they've still got a shot. It's a long shot, but it's a shot.
2:05 left to play with here in the fourth quarter for the Trojans. What a turnover. It looked like O'Neal was trying to hand it off to White and just got hit on the transfer, causing them to drop the football. Couldn't get the transfer away cleanly. And I don't even think nobody wearing white was aware the ball was on the ground. Everybody in black knew it was on the ground.
Well, of course, the danger in those read options is that when neither player knows if they're getting the ball or not. Sometimes the ball's loose in the exchange.
Thrown over the middle, caught, touchdown. Millington back in the ball game with 1:58 left to play. Adrian Dowell on the slant route from Tommy Clifton, a 24-yard strike. It took all of 7 seconds off of the clock.
Fans, you may want to stop heading for the exits for a moment. Millington just clawed their way back in this game.
And there is a crowd of people who have turned around to stop and watch the Trojans score that touchdown. They hear their fight song being played, and they're coming back.
And they're going to kick the extra point, which I don't blame them, because as it's up and good, now you've got a situation where all they have to do is punch one in the end zone, and they get the 1-point win.
One timeout remaining for either side with 1:57 left to play here in the ball game. We're going to keep it right here.
Suddenly a game, Andy.
Wow.
We went from ready to clear out, and now we've got a game. It's a 5-point ball game here in Millington at the M&M Bowl, one of the biggest games of the year for both schools. You see the crowd there. That's a lot of the people that were headed for the exits now starting to make their way back. Some of them standing there at the fence just waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, there's what you can't see is there's an even bigger crowd over there in the corner where the cameras can't see. What a throw. Both defenders run into each other.
And so now, I mean, 1:57 left. You have to kick an onside kick.
And with one timeout as well.
And so we'll see if Eli Roberts can place the onside kick just right and give his team a chance to get possession.
Everybody up for Munford in onside kick formation. Trojans have their hands team out there. They're ready to go. There's the kick. It's bobbled, but the Cougars fall down on top of it. Lamarius Payne was the first to get his hands on it, and he quickly recovers it for the Cougars and gets smothered. And that was a line drive of a kick as well.
I think the intention was actually to kick it lower and try to bounce it off one of the players in the front. It just kind of sailed on him a little bit, but they still almost got the bobble they needed. Smartly, Lamarius Payne falls on it once he realized he bobbled it.
So now with one timeout remaining, Trojans can only stop the clock once. There's a handoff. White takes it up the middle, slammed down hard, and a flag comes flying out at the end of that.
And it's a timeout by Millington called right there, but we wait to see what the flag turns out to be, or if there is a flag. I see one. It's still sitting over there, but it's in the backfield, the defensive backfield.
That happened. They threw the flag right where the tackle occurred.
The dead ball personal foul against Millington. Not what you need out of your team. You got to be more disciplined than that.
And then Millington also burns their final timeout.
The Trojans definitely don't need to give up any field position when they can stop the clock like that and a down. And so now it goes back to first down. They have to stop them 3 times. They're on their last timeout, so they have none of those left. It's going to be almost impossible with 1:46 left because Munford, once they get the clock started, can almost run it out.
Well, pretty much at this point, your best hope is to force a punt and then get a punt return. That's about the only thing you can hope for right now with no timeouts.
You're going to have to get quick stops here, and like you said, then try to return a punt.
We may just see them take a knee. They got 3 guys in the backfield here. Nope, going to hand it off to one of those three guys. It's White taking the handoff. So now clock will continue to roll.
If they time it right, they'll still be receiving a punt with somewhere around 40 seconds left in the game.
Well, maybe not if the play clock starts at 40. If it starts at 40, they will not have enough time. And that's exactly where the play clock started.
Oh. So college rules in effect here, I suppose. No need to do anything but take a knee then for Munford. So that's again one of those misunderstandings of the rules. They've adopted the 40-second play clock.
And with 1 second left, they'll take a knee. All there is left to do is just do that one more time. Once there's less than 40 seconds left, they can go ahead and do that. So now they can take a knee and officially run this one out. Well, the Cougars have got to feel good about coming in here to Millington tonight after getting shellacked last week.
Oh, and taking home a win over a rival. So you start the season 1-1. Millington gave them a little scare here at the end, but just not enough time left on the clock.
And that will do it here from Mooney Boswell Field. The Munford Cougars, as Chad just mentioned, will go up to a record of 1-1. We got a cramp here to end the game.
Of course.
12-7, the final score. Munford picking up their first win of the season. Don't forget to join us for our next broadcast here on Tubetown in Tennessee. Coming back over here across the river in a couple of weeks, Munford and Brighton. The Cougars taking on the Cardinals. That one will certainly be a fun one to be a part of, and certainly
absolutely.
Hope
I was
that you'll join us
going
back
to
here
try
for
to
it.
find us a score update for the Cardinals right now. Last week, the Cardinals got a big win over Raleigh, Egypt. Brighton right now, it looks like at the half they were down 14-7 for Dyersburg. No update there. But that'll be the game that we come back to. Brighton and Munford, another rivalry game for Munford, but they get a couple of weeks breather here before they have to play another big rivalry game.
That's right. So both teams now 1-1. Munford taking on Craigmont next week. Meanwhile, the Millington Trojans will face off against King Prep. But a final score here tonight for the M&M Bowl, 12-7. Again, the Cougars got to feel good about the way their defense played tonight, especially after losing last week 35-0 to Covington. For Millington, they can get some of these penalties worked out and some of these turnovers. They will have a good-looking season ahead of them.
Absolutely, and don't forget that you can watch the replay of this game or any of the games that Tubetown covers live, including some Arkansas football, on the Fire TV Stick app. All you have to do is go to the App Store on your Fire TV Stick or hold the microphone on your remote and tell Alexa you want to download Tubetown, and it should pop up on your screen right there. And you download the app, and then you have access to all of the previous games and anything live sports-wise coming on Tubetown.
Make sure you get that business handled before our next broadcast. Next week, we're back over in Arkansas. We hope to have you with us on Tubetown. Thanks to all of our crew who made tonight's game possible. For Chad Gatlin, I'm Andy Manus saying so long. We'll see you next Friday night.